Do affirmations work? Short answer, yes, they do. I'm Christine Philipp. I'm a hypnotist and mind coach, helping people to overcome anxiety and self-doubt so they can fall in love with life again. Let's start. We are talking to ourselves every day, all day, whether we are consciously aware of it or not. Our minds are very busy bees trying to make sense of the world around us and steer us through life in the best possible way. Do we get it right all the time? Of course not. A lot of the time, we can be our worst enemy and feed ourselves with quite some harsh and nasty negative affirmations. We tell ourselves how stupid and how useless and worthless we are. And, ho-ho, we believe it. So here's already the proof that affirmations do work. And there can be different reasons for why we rather believe negative things than positive ones about ourselves. That is quite individual because we all have different experiences and learnings of life. Some of the most important learnings happen in our early years, at a time where we don't have a clue about the world yet. We are depending on our parents, their opinions, their worldviews, and later on our peers, teachers, surroundings. We absorb and learn about ourselves, others, and everything in relation. At that time, a lot of people adopt a certain strategy or certain strategies that get them perfectly fine through life. At that time. We know that because apparently we got here today. But with the years, a lot of those strategies become outdated and more like a burden than a help for us. So let's say we have learned early on in life that for some reason we are not good enough. We will always fail, no matter what we do. We are just simply stupid and insignificant. In one way or another, those beliefs stick in our subconscious minds. We build strategies around those beliefs to stay safe and out of trouble. Hence, we actually should have a better chance at being happy. Let me give you an example. Certain experiences or things people say or have said to us caused us to learn that we should be terrified about public speaking. Almost everybody knows what I'm talking about. We fear to be ridiculed, judged, rejected. We begin to develop strategies to avoid those situations in the future as they are making us really uncomfortable. That was a very good strategy to steer us through life for quite a while. But sometimes people end up in jobs where they cannot avoid speaking in public or having to say something in a meeting. Or they would like to advance in their career, which would be required to speak in public, but they can't due to their fear that holds them back now. Our old strategies do not work the same way any longer. And so now we have tried everything we could think of. We stick notes on our fridge that tell us we are good enough, that we got this, and how amazing we are. But we don't believe any of this, do we? We can even repeat that daily, and we still don't believe it. Making conscious effort to change something that is stored in our subconscious mind is mostly quite difficult and requires a lot of work and willpower. We have developed something we call a critical faculty of our mind over the years. Imagine this to be like the security guard of your mind that allows new or different information to sink in when it is already somewhat compatible with our map of reality, with our way of how we perceive the world and ourselves to be. Okay, this is a really long-winded way to talk about affirmations, but it will all make sense in a minute. So when we tell ourselves beautiful things, I wish we all would actually believe, The security guard rejects those news because a different belief about ourselves is stored in the subconscious mind. So how can we get around this? We can work, for example, with a trusted hypnotist or otherwise professional, or we can change something about the way we approach affirmations. It's basically about self-talk. Positive affirmations are an invitation to approach ourselves in a more kind and in a more loving way. I have seen lots of really outlandish affirmations, and I wonder who would ever believe any of those. And I notice that a lot of them are quite closed statements. For example, I am perfect the way I am, could be one of them. My suspicion is the security guard of our mind would totally jump on this one, as it's just not true, and it will list all the things we did wrong, all the mistakes we made, all the failures we have experienced to us in seconds. We actually end up feeling worse. But when we begin to use affirmations that imply possibilities, options, growth, space, process, it will be much easier to sink in. That could then sound like this. I am perfect as I am right now with all my imperfections, given the knowledge I have at this point in time in any given context. It's basically meaning the same, but now the statement is open, kind, and compassionate and makes a lot more sense to our mind. It's basically an invitation to get better, to improve and to learn and stay curious while being accepting of oneself. And now let me give you 4 quick tips to make it even easier for you to make positive affirmations actually work for you. Tip number 1, state it in the positive. That might sound like, duh, but how often do we catch ourselves to state what we don't want instead of what we want? Let's say we want to move away from feeling anxious. We mostly would say, I don't want to feel anxious anymore. But your mind doesn't have any direction to go to now. It just doesn't know where to turn to. So what happens when we don't feel anxious anymore? We will feel calm, peaceful, more confident maybe. There is the direction to go to. Your mind will pick up on that too. Tip number 2, keep your affirmations realistic, congruent with yourself, and achievable. Back again to moving from I am perfect to rather I get better. Give your mind options and possibilities of growth in a way that seems doable. Tip number 3, use them and repeat them when you feel relaxed and calm already. For example, when you are about to fall asleep or wake up. You will train your mind with ease and not under pressure and stress. Tip number 4, to make affirmations really work for you, keep the statements more open, more compassionate, and more loving towards yourself. And be patient with yourself. Your mind will thank you in the long run. I have created a little book with positive affirmations for healthy self-esteem and confidence that is called Me, a Love Story, that is available for free on my website. I will link it in the description below so you can simply just download it, print it, and enjoy it. And if you like my videos, consider liking them, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell so you always will be informed when I upload something new. Have a lovely day. Bye for now.